Let's talk about games. So games are a great motivator. It keeps the kids moving in class, and then they don't even realize how many turns that they're taking. So it's supposed to just be an added thing in. It's not supposed to take over your entire class. If it takes over your entire class, then it's not a good game. You don't want them to be focusing so much on the game that they're not actually doing the gymnastics. You want the gymnastics to come first and the game to come second. So the main games that I think that you should add in are super simple. It would just be every single time you take a turn, you get to grab a card. Or you could do anything with connect 4 pieces, gems, cubes, anything like that. Every single time they do a turn, they get to go and they grab one and they bring it back to their very special spot that they pick for themselves, and they get to put that piece in their area. Then you get to play a game with whatever items they've grabbed. So if it's Jenga pieces, you could say, can you build a sculpture? You got 30 seconds to build a sculpture. Let me see. Or if it's cards, you could say, grab a friend. We're going to play war for 30 seconds, see who has the most at the end. If it's cards, you could say, look at your cards, see how many black cards you have. Or you could do this with anything. See how many cards you have with a face on them. See how many cards that you have that have the color blue on it. Anything like that. We also have played games where we lay all the cards out and you have all of your cards face down sitting next to your station. When you do one, you get to flip over a card and you leave it laying there. Once one person has all their cards flipped over, we rotate stations. If you want, you can set a consequence with it. However many cards that you have that aren't unturned, you do that many push-ups. Another game that our coaches love to play is called Potato. So you'll make a stack of cards and face them all down. And you just leave it somewhere. So every single time they do a turn, they get to come pick a card and they get to put their card with their team. The catch is if they pick a 4 or an 8, they get to yell potato and steal somebody else's pile and put it underneath their cone. So they'll sometimes lay out different colored cones so they know which team to put their cards underneath. So it all stays organized as well. So that's a really fun game. It keeps them moving. To play is called Don't Kill the Snake. So every single time you do a good turn, let's say you're doing pivot turns or something. If you make the pivot turn, you get a card. If you don't make the pivot turn, you're going to kill the snake. So every single time you do a good one, you get to put a card down and you're going to put them down and you're going to build this really long snake. But the second somebody falls, it's going to kill the snake and you're going to restart. So you'll usually do like 2 teams, 3 teams, whatever you want to do. And we're trying to see who can get the longest snake. If you've ever played spoons, you can play a version of spoons where every single time they do a turn, again, they grab a card and they're trying to get a hand of 4 of the same number. So they'll start with 1 card, then they'll get another card, another card, another card. Once they have 4 in their hand, their next turn, they get to swap it out. So they'll get to pick whatever card they want, put it down, and pick up a new card. And you're trying to get 4 of the same number every single time they do a turn. And then you're trying to see what kid gets 4 of the same number first. Sometimes you'll need to hold the card, so again, they don't cheat. Another game you can play is memory. So you'll lay down all your cards like memory normally is. Every single time they do a turn, they get to come over, flip 2 cards, and see if it's a pair. If not, you put it back and leave it as is. This is usually better with older kids though, because sometimes they'll start to cheat and look underneath. But if they do get a pair, they get to keep it. And they put it next to their station and we see how many pairs people can get. You really don't have to sort and organize them and make sure there's pairs. You could just lay them all out and just see what happens. And that's really okay. And keep laying them out and put more and more out during the rotation. There's a million other games you could play. It's really just being creative with it. Come up with your own game, see what you can come up with. These are all just simple card games. So you don't want to spend a lot of time trying to explain the game. If you make it a little too complicated, then half the time you're just trying to fix the game instead of focusing on the gymnastics. So pick something simple. Again, grabbing a card every time, and then if you need to explain the game while you're playing the game later, that's a better option than trying to explain it all at the beginning. But again, just do each turn, grab a card, and then you can play a quick little game as like a resting time in between, because they will get tired if they're doing, 20 cartwheels every single time before you play a game. They'll start to get tired. So grab a card, play the game at the end, and have fun with it. That's it.